While I feel a sorrowful feeling, I recognize that at the very least my thinking is kind of pent up and made to be overly negative, because the truth is I want to be optimistic, yet all I can feel is sorrow. Because I go through these pretty massive mental experiences that drift me further and further into the emotive truth. The emotive truth is based on a principle. It is the truth behind me. It stands for the honest drive in me. It's really what I've been going through is the dissonant, ludicrous display of this perception into this absolute insanity that who would only mildly understand and maybe completely understand in a sort of otherworldly or sci-fi, like a fictitious setting. Really the matter of the corruption. You wonder how far can corruption truly go. It's all a matter of the wisdom being a fabrication. It's all a matter of the fact that while some of us want to put forward goodwill, and while some of us cooperate with each other, and while some of us help each other out, you ask yourself, why is that? Because there's no need to do so, per se. I mean, to work a job, but I guess the point is that it's all just a boring game. It's this boring game that treats me so hypothetically, it treats me with dignity. Yeah. Allocates me to live. It also fuels my regression to live. It lets me be myself to live. It helps me understand why I'm alive. See, the point is that I feel like I've grown depressed. In my depression is erratic thinking occasionally mixed with a very light breeze. And what I mean by that is there's just a breezy feeling in there. Like a breeze is comfortable, a breeze is soothing. That's what I mean. Also, I should probably be like fucked up. What I mean is, I feel like in every single one I'm being pulled toward being fucked up. I just make my way through. Regardless. The point is that I overcome my obscenities. I overcome my depiction of insanity, but then it follows me. It becomes me. Through following me, it is me. As a result of following me. But I don't wish to have antagonism be a trait of mine. You know? It's just a matter of just the truth behind the fact that I'm sort of like made to hallucinate some idealisms that would lead to words that I would speak, and they're a little like they're very against my principle. It's like delusional. They're like delusions, I think. They're meant to make me more angry. And the point is that it has worked before. I've been messed up a few times. And the point is that I want to better myself. I want to be a better guy. But first, I have to endure the consequences of my lack of repentance. Meaning, mentally, I'm condoning sin, and I'm just letting it be understood. It's wrong to be some sort of hurtful person. But what does that mean? In this capitalistic market, maybe the inequality, it has led to some people's demise, but this the law-abiding system works on a principle. Things that are more blatant and their repugnance will be more considered, hence serial killers and such. I think the point is that really I'm not a hurtful guy. I'm really a well-meaning guy. It's just there's this process from maybe like aliens or something, or maybe just these transmissions from outer space that are entering my mind. And I suspect that in the underworld is where we all exist, and it is a delirious gift from the afterlife to keep us alive. And it is just like immorbidity after another in a way. Like there's a nefarious undercurrent to us all. I mean, if you agree that the sentience can live in replicated harmony, you are somewhere else, yet you are here, then I guess it just means that maybe you are like capable hypothetically of feeling that other being's body. And the truth is I've hypothesized that we are living in a deluded condition. What I mean by underworld is that, well, I think that we are above ground. It's just that there's this sort of like syndicate that would be forming the the alignment of time. Now, God is a lovely word. God is considered to be the creator of time. Now, an interesting story is that, well, you could say that God really, though, he birthed like the current universe. It would make you wonder, would God have birthed like every universe? Also, I don't know if you noticed, but my name, Matthew, or Mathieu, I was born with the name Mathieu. I used the name Matthew on my channel, right? My name, on the dictionary, it says it is the gift of God. So I think that these telepathic creatures, they're so intelligent, but like they are like cool, probably cool beings, because they have owned the world and I'm perceiving them. I know it seems like a certain kind of way, but why aren't we allowed to have spiritual experiences? Why aren't we allowed to see our own truths without then it leading to judgment, right? Like, that's what I think. So, anyways, the point is that I'm feeling better about myself actually. It is good to be here, and I've noticed something about myself so much. So, this is my ego's continuous evolution, which transcribes itself through. Okay, so just a hypothesis. Can the same life be lived twice? Can the same life be lived 1,000 times? Can the same life be lived 10 million times, you know? Like, and in what sense, though? Well, there could be differences in the life, but the person, the name, the family background, the general habits, the general tendencies, they would all be the same. Like, they would be the same, exactly the same person in the sense that maybe they perform creativity fairly differently, but they would hold the same standard. I've just wondered, like, I'm not hurt, by the way. That made me kind of sad. I'm not hurt, by the way. You know, I am just a mentally ill guy in so many ways, you know? But I do perceive time and space and in a psychic element. I mean, I'm convinced I'm a psychic too, you know? I'm convinced I'm a psychic. I am a psychic thinker. I mean, I have probably deduced mathematics in my mind. I know it's not much to brag about. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Because the thing is I feel like I faced trials and I overcame them, and in order to do that well, the world must be a mathematical formula after another. Anyways, the point is that there was a. Okay, so let's say you are born in a world that is very real, okay? Even if you live 100% of the same exact life, why couldn't you be like put or like sequestered, maybe is the word? Sequestered inside of a different like holding chamber while still living the same life and still being on the same grounds, you would still be elsewhere. Like, I mean, the proponent that keeps life going, the mentality, the life that we live in must be some sort of simulation. So I guess in that way you could think of it as a transfer into another computer, right? Well, the point is that maybe my story did divert. I mean, yes, things are going quite. I mean, I'm facing some struggles. Things are going well for me. I'm not working. I'm extremely fortunate in that sense because I feel like I accomplished some things regardless. The point is that it's all based on my overwhelming positive drive, my will to be better. It's what creates my psychic mind. And I inhabit myself in different perspectives. Sorry if I'm skipping over some topics. I inhabit myself in different perspectives. I keep it together by being myself. Don't you understand? The point in it not being split personality, but still being a confliction in the self. Because split personality implies that you're literally like the antithesis of yourself, which I'll admit this, okay? Sometimes I can be inconsistent in some ways regarding like how I feel about something because I'm sort of like mentally tripping. But I always have an ultimate truthful answer. And I don't really feel good about that, you know? It's to deduce the mechanisms of living, yet it's to realize that in those mechanisms, is what you make of it. I mean, are we supposed to be living sanely at all up in this bitch? Like, I don't know. I wanted to say that I'm grateful that I'm even alive and that life is a really good thing. Life is a really good thing. I mean, I'm very happy that I exist. You know. Anyways, the hallucinations showed up for the first time in like 20 minutes. They're just mocking. They're so peculiar. I mean, they are certainly intelligent enough to duplicate our mind, to duplicate our harmony. What I mean is, they could infiltrate us with ourselves. They're smart enough for that. I mean, they're this sort of organization. But really, it's not such a conspiracy as much as a concurrent shoot when you think that they may as well be the gods. That's what I think is really going on here. Or, it's really considered to be individual God. Everyone has, like, a belief in the way you can be atheists. But a lot of people are religious thinkers. They believe in religion. But I think really it's a different ballgame than what people think. The point is that, well, Jesus Christ, the story of Jesus, I've read a bit. I did not read the Bible, so I'm not really fit to give any sort of more than rudimentary opinion, but the story of Jesus is that he was the Son of God. I've always wondered, who is God then? Now, Jesus was the Son of God. Jesus was the messenger of God. Who is God then? And I'll just admit it openly, okay? Right now. I will admit it. It plays into my hallucinatory perspective, which I know people immediately discredit, okay? But to me, it has become more than fiction in a way. It has become more than delusions. I mean, like, it is fiction, but it has become more than delusions. It has become something very real. You see, the point is, I think that the stories that are told revolve around how I had some sort of grasp on the proponent of people's, like, in particular, like, mythological figures as uh, uh, their experiences and how it all revolved around my living. It was about how there were these otherworldly figures that existed, and it was their stories personified, and it was also that I would understand. So I thought that in the birthing of the world, well, it was God all along. And the point was that, well, if the point is that Matsu means the gift of God, then I'm touched to be God's gift, Now I know that I'm not really a public speaker. I am a man who puts himself on YouTube. I am not a very popular guy. It's very easy for the implication of religion to be that it is followed by the masses. And also, I would never wish to form a religion of myself. I think it would be too pretentious of a thing, you know? But what I wish to say is that I feel like in so many ways I have seen the light. I did reincarnate on my bed. I shrinked into a baby form and then I regained my human form. It did happen to me once. I said it a few times. It's the absolute truth. I said it a few times, okay? It may be convincing in retrospect. I didn't think about it that day. Especially a few years later, I started thinking about it here and there. No, like, how's that fucking possible? Okay, so I have to admit it, since this is such an honest video. I've made maybe a near reference to my blinking on this channel being sort of like a bewildering problem, or maybe not. Anyways, in my delusional, in my delusional but so very purposeful life, a period of time in my life where I just like the best I can explain it, bro, is that like I was not making like too much sense. I mean, I was not relaxing, you know. I mean, because I did this thing where I kept on blinking nonstop, okay, and I mean, I was going so fast with it, it's unbelievable. I don't even feel like doing it, I'm too chilled out about it. But I was going so fast, it's unbelievable. I mean, I just was blinking nonstop so quickly that people would say, okay, I'm annoyed, I must stop, right? And so I kept on going and going and going and going. I did it nonstop, probably for months. Really think about that right now with me, okay? I did it non-stop, probably for months. I got into a chat with fucking friends for the first time in a long time. Started blinking really quickly. Like, I gave up on it for like a few minutes. I started doing it again. I was convinced that for a while in my life, I was being fed instructions through some kind of typewriter. And they were making me do things like I would recognize a phone number that would lead me to a prank dial, and it happened to me 2 times. And I just like typed in the number, just knowing it through my mind. I was like surveyed by some like informants. That's how I think. Some sort of like informed crew. I was like surveyed at some point in my life, especially. But really, it still happens today. I think so. It's just much more mellowed out in a way. Because it feels like it's all fading away. It's fading away from my reach. You know, I don't mean to stress any of you out with any of this. I mean, I think that, yeah, I might have been pessimistic a bit in those videos. I just want to say this. It's just a thought process after another that doesn't quite align, but that resonates heavily within me, you know. And all I really wish to say is that I love you, and I'm glad you have watched this video so far, you know, and I just appreciate that, you know, I am a real and beautiful guy. I'm a real and a beautiful guy. And the point is that I have been going through these mind-told trials, okay? Because I did reincarnate. I've been going through these mental trials that awaken something in me every time. The consciousness cooperates. I've always thought, like, how do multiple people live in one person? Like, I don't mean like, you know, like a Siamese twin. Like, I mean like, how do multiple people live in one person? How does that happen anyways, you know? I mean, I've always thought it to myself. They're just pointing out that I'm raising up my hand a lot. Hand to God. they're pointing it out to me. Because I mean, if you want my truth, like the future music will be a lot better. I'll just put it that way. I mean, I'll become kind of a genius at the music, I think. Like, because the current extended play, okay, yeah, it's staying. Okay, I'm sorry for the fucking, like, 4 re-uploads. I was being a complete dick. Fuck up. I was being fucked up. I feel like there's some sort of, like, a psychic predatory wave that transcends time and that, like, it attacks me, and, like, I suffer from sort of like subconscious heart attack where a part of me like dies every second of the day, and I just keep on going. I keep on marching forward. It feels like there are like light needles stabbing my fingers, even though there's no needle there and it's just a very light hallucination. It feels like there are light needles stabbing my fingers or something. And I'm just realizing something. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna ever like accomplish anything like, that. Like, I mean, the music would be brilliant, but world changing, maybe. I mean, there's always a chance. I can't discredit it, right? Gotta have the optimism and the hope in you. I know we'll see.